The Galactic Council chamber fell silent as Bell walked through the towering doors. At 17 standard years, she barely reached the chest plates of the assembled alien dignitaries. Her worn combat boots echoed against polished crystalline floors that had witnessed 1,000 years of interstellar diplomacy. Ambassador Vex Thor, a Krillian with 4 eyes and skin like burnished copper, leaned toward his aide. "The humans send us a child? This is their response to our military proposition?" Bell heard every word. Her augmented hearing, a gift from 3 years on the front lines of the Outer Rim conflict, picked up whispers from across the vast chamber. She didn't flinch, didn't respond. She simply walked to the center platform, her small frame dwarfed by the circular arrangement of seats that rose like stadium tiers around her. "Honored delegates," Bell began, her voice steady and clear. "I am Lieutenant Bell Morrison, representing the Human Defense Coalition. I understand you've requested our assistance with the Zathorn incursion in the Helios sector." The Zathorn. Even saying their name sent ripples of fear through the council. A hive-minded species that had consumed 17 civilizations in the past decade. Their latest target was the mineral-rich Helios sector, home to 3 council species. "Lieutenant?" Council Speaker Mordan's translator rendered his incredulity perfectly. "The humans send a lieutenant? We requested a tactical commander with experience against overwhelming odds." Bell's expression didn't change. "You got one." Laughter erupted from several delegations. The sound was harsh, alien, dismissive. Only Otis, standing in the shadows near the human delegation seating area, remained silent. At 19, he was Bell's senior officer and had specifically recommended her for this assignment. He knew what these aliens didn't. "Child," Vex Thor spoke again, his voice dripping with condescension, "we face an enemy that outnumbers us 50 to 1. They have overrun our defensive positions in 3 systems. Our brightest tactical minds have failed. What could a human juvenile possibly offer?" Bell reached into her jacket and placed a small data crystal on the platform. It projected a holographic display of the Helios sector, showing Zathorn positions in angry red and council forces in retreating blue. "You're losing because you fight like prey," Bell said simply. "You establish defensive perimeters, fall back to secondary positions, and hope your enemy exhausts themselves. The Zathorn don't exhaust. They consume. And humans fight differently?" Morden challenged. "Humans were prey once," Bell replied. "Then we became predators. Then we became something worse. We became survivors who remember what it's like to be hunted." She manipulated the hologram, and the display changed. 3 years ago, I was 14. The Zathorn hit my colony world Prosperity Station. Population 40,000. We had 300 militia members and mining equipment. She paused. By the time HDC reinforcements arrived 2 months later, we had killed or repelled every Zathorn on the planet. The chamber went quiet. "Impossible," Vex Thor whispered. "Prosperity Station's militia were untrained civilians." "How?" "We stopped thinking like prey," Bell interrupted. "We used the mines, collapsed tunnels with them inside, lured them into processing facilities and flash froze them with coolant systems. We poisoned water supplies they tried to assimilate. We became unpredictable, vicious, and we never, ever stopped attacking." Otis stepped forward from the shadows, his scarred face a testament to his own battles. Bell didn't just survive Prosperity Station. She coordinated the defense. At 14, she organized guerrilla cells, planned ambushes, and turned a doomed colony into the Zathorn's first tactical defeat. That's why she's a lieutenant at 17. That's why I recommended her. Bell zoomed the hologram to a specific system. "You want to save the Helios sector? Here's how. You evacuate non-combatants immediately. Then you stop defending and start hunting. The Zathorn expect fortifications and retreat. Give them chaos instead." She outlined her strategy with brutal efficiency. Transform mining stations into traps. Use the sector's asteroid fields for hit-and-run attacks. Contaminate resource deposits the Zathorn would try to harvest. Force them to spread their forces, searching for threats that appeared and vanished like ghosts. "This is barbaric," one delegate protested. "We are civilized species. We conduct warfare with honor with—" "You're losing," Bell cut him off, her young face suddenly hard as steel. "Honor doesn't matter to the dead. Neither do your protocols or your 1,000-year traditions. The Zathorn will consume you while you debate proper military etiquette." Vex Thor studied the young human for a long moment. "If we give you tactical command, what assurance do we have that your unconventional methods will succeed?" Bell's response was immediate. I can't assure you of victory. War doesn't work that way. But I can promise that every Zathorn in the Helios sector will learn to fear the dark, to second-guess every advance, and to understand that humans and our allies don't just fight to win. We fight to survive, and survival doesn't follow rules. The council deliberated for hours. Otis stood beside Bell during the wait, neither speaking. They didn't need to. They'd both learned communication in the silence between gunfire and explosions. When the council reconvened, Mordan's voice carried a new weight. Lieutenant Morrison, the council grants you tactical command of all military forces in the Helios sector. But understand, if you fail for all of us. Bell nodded once, crisp and professional. I've been failing since I was 14, Counselor. The difference is I'm still here. As she left the chamber, delegates whispered among themselves. Some doubted, some feared. But far across the galaxy, in the Zathorn collective consciousness, something unprecedented happened. Their scouts had transmitted Bell's image and voice from infiltrated council communications. The Zathorn recognized her, the commander from Prosperity Station, the child who had killed thousands of their warriors, the small predator who turned defense into slaughter. For the first time in their species' memory, the Zathorn hesitated, and in that hesitation, humanity's most unlikely commander began planning their extinction.